Olá, estamos de volta com um novo webinar muito especial. Frequentemente apresentamos tendências, ingredientes aplicados, etc. Mas dessa vez estamos com um assunto muito interessante. Nós vamos falar de antioxidante. Mas, poxa, Régis, antioxidante? Sim, e aqui é o ponto. Nós vamos falar de saúde. Para isso, nós convidamos uma nova parceria que a Azelis está trazendo aqui para o Brasil, a Kyowa, e apresentar o Setria, mais conhecido como Mestre dos antioxidantes. A palestra ela será em inglês e legendada em português. E ao final teremos um QR Code para que vocês possam enviar suas perguntas e entrar em contato com o nosso time. Mas antes, quero aproveitar a oportunidade e fazer uma pequena apresentação sobre a Azelis. Primeiro, vamos falar do grupo Azelis. A Azelis é um dos líderes mundiais em distribuição de especialidades químicas e ingredientes. Por exemplo, no continente americano, nós somos o número 1 em produtos químicos especiais. E também temos a nossa convicção em relação a um slogan que é o nosso propósito, Innovation through Formulation. Aqui, ele consegue transmitir exatamente o que nós queremos de relação com os nossos clientes e os nossos fornecedores, os nossos parceiros. Nós queremos fornecer soluções totalmente integradas, impacto por meio de ideias e inovação através de formulação. E agora falar um pouquinho sobre a Vogler. A Vogler, ela hoje faz parte do grupo Azelis, mas ela está há mais de 34 anos aqui no mercado. Nós iniciamos em 1990, aqui em Diadema. Após alguns anos, nós transferimos a nossa matriz, construímos o nosso galpão de distribuição aqui em São Bernardo. E nós temos um segundo centro de distribuição que fica em Recife. Atualmente, nós somos em mais de 170 colaboradores só aqui no Brasil. Contamos com 3 laboratórios de aplicação e, recentemente, nós ganhamos um prêmio de inovação da Azelis. E também eu quero falar sobre o Prêmio BIS, que é o reconhecimento dos melhores distribuidores para a indústria de alimentos aqui no Brasil. Nós já fomos listado em 8 vezes como um dos melhores distribuidores de alimentos no Brasil. Agora eu gostaria de passar para vocês um pequeno vídeo instrucional sobre a Azelis e, na sequência, voltamos com a nossa apresentação.
Vogler, uma empresa Azelis. Sabor, cor, frescor, tecnologia, sustentabilidade, saudabilidade. A Vogler, uma empresa Azelis, está há mais de 30 anos atendendo o mercado de alimentos e bebidas do Brasil. Uma empresa sólida, com mais de 150 colaboradores, com centros de distribuição em São Bernardo do Campo e Recife, e mais de 10 mil metros quadrados de área útil com estoque local, Centro Tecnológico Vogler, CTV, laboratório de qualidade e produção. 100% autossustentável em energia elétrica, a Vogler utiliza placas de energia solar para abastecer toda a sua operação. Além disso, a otimização do uso da água, reuso de água pluvial e tratamento de efluentes a posiciona entre as empresas preparadas para as exigências mundiais em ESG. Regularidade e qualidade dos seus produtos, sabor, cor e frescor. Contando com suas fortes parcerias mundialmente renomadas. Nossa divisão Vogler Systems garante um serviço tailor-made nas suas misturas sinérgicas, com ingredientes seguros e de qualidade, além de soluções que se encaixam nos mais diversos perfis de clientes. Vogler, uma empresa Azelis. Sustentabilidade, tecnologia e qualidade máxima em ingredientes para o mercado de alimentos, bebidas, farma e pet food. Azelis Vogler. Innovation through Formulation.
Muito bom. Agora eu quero convidar aqui na nossa palestra a Vanessa Gomes, que é a gerente do segmento Farma aqui na Azelis e que vai trazer um pouquinho desses insights. E ela é a pessoa que vocês vão precisar procurar aqui na Vogler para conhecer depois um pouquinho mais sobre o Kyowa. Seja bem-vinda, Vanessa.
Olá, pessoal. É muito gratificante participar desse webinar e ter o prazer de apresentá-los o Setria, que é o nosso Master Antioxidante Glutationa, Todos sabem da importância de produtos antioxidantes, principalmente pelo envelhecimento populacional que nós temos, não só no Brasil, mas em nível global. E nós temos aqui conosco um grande parceiro para nos dar todos os detalhes e, principalmente, elaborar ideias para novos lançamentos em suplementos. Sim, porque nós temos esse produto já listado na IN 28, já autorizado na listagem positiva de suplementos na Anvisa. Fiquem à vontade para fazerem perguntas, nós estaremos disponíveis aqui no Brasil, teremos todos os detalhes, eu e minha equipe teremos o prazer de fazer uma apresentação presencialmente em cada cliente que tiver interesse de conhecer esse produto. Now I would like to invite the experts from Kyowa team to introduce us the Master Antioxidante Setria products. Please welcome Kyowa team.
Thank you all and welcome. Thank you for having us. My name is Katie Emerson. I am the Senior Manager of Scientific Affairs at Kyowa Hakko USA, and I am a registered and licensed dietitian. And we're here to talk about Setria Glutationa, thriving at every stage of life, and exploring the health benefits of Setria. We are a Japanese company, so Kyowa Hakko is directly related to Kirin Holdings, Inc. They are the parent company to Kyowa, and our sister company is a pharmaceutical side, so it's called Kyowa Hakko Bio. And then you have the beverage side that is Kirin. We are the health and wellness side called Kyowa Hakko USA, and we specialize in branded ingredients ranging from Cognizin, which is acetylcholine product for brain health. Amuse is our postbiotic, and then Setria Glutationa is what we're talking about today. Kyowa is very unique. We provide ingredients, but we also provide support on the science department side, regulatory assistance, and then we have a marketing team as well. So as you can see, our ingredients go in finished goods, and then we are here to help you throughout the entire process from launch date to getting into big box stores. So what do we all have in common? We all have different ethnic backgrounds, heritage, speak different languages, as this is so apparent today. But what I think what's so important is accepting our differences is that we have one common thing, and that is that we do age. Unfortunately, we all will age at some point. But I think the goal in life is to age as gracefully and as healthy as possible. And that is where Setria can really help us in aging gracefully. So, as I said, Setria is L-glutathione. It is a tripeptide, and it is consistent with helping in promoting detoxification. It provides antioxidant protection, and it fortifies the immune system. A little background to Setria is the name actually means set, meaning restore, order, and balance. And tri is because it's that tripeptide. So it's that glutamic acid, cysteine, and glycine, and that's where the name Setria comes in, and that's why it's a tripeptide, and it helps to restore our glutathione back to balance. So Setria means balanced wellness, and it's actually going to make more sense as I go through these slides and explain what Setria does. So a little bit more on the back end is understanding the mechanisms behind glutathione. And it's important to cover some of this background because it helps us understand what it's doing for our bodies in that aging gracefully process. So free radicals. Our bodies prefer balance, homeostasis. Atoms like to be stable, which means that they will have an even number of electrons. However, free radicals can sometimes form within our bodies. And in fact, they do form in our bodies all the time. And they contain an unbalanced number of electrons. So the lack of balance makes them unstable. And if not controlled, this will disrupt normal cell function. And because our bodies are so amazing, we have the ability to combat these free radicals. So antioxidants are going to help us rebalance those free radicals by donating an extra electron. And this the atom to then become more stable again. Oxidative stress, unfortunately, is unavoidable, but it can be controlled. The scientific term for oxidative stress means just an imbalance between those oxidants and antioxidants, but it tends to favor the oxidants, leading to a disruption in this redox signaling and controls that molecular damage that's happening. Basically, what that means is it's the process that we all experience. And I like to use the example of an apple because I think that's something we can all relate to, is the browning effect that we experience when we cut an apple. You start to see that exposure to oxygen over time is because of that oxidative stress. And that apple starts to change by the browning, but it also changes in shrinking in size. And sometimes it can become that really soft, gross texture. So our cells actually behave very similarly. And when our free radicals attack the cell over time, it is because of that oxidative stress, and it can lead to a cascade of unwanted events. So this is an example of that oxidative stress and how we can kind of combat that as we age. As we age, and adding comorbidities like obesity is really going to have a huge play on our bodies. And if those oxidants, those free radicals, are high and our glutathione antioxidants are low, we're exposed to more chronic disease. So going back to that aging gracefully, in order to do that, we need to have a healthy balance between oxidants and antioxidants. And again, over time, that oxidative stress is going to cause that chronic disease, and we really don't want that. Glutathione levels decrease with age, unfortunately. That is unavoidable. But there are some things that we can avoid, or at least limit, and that is the use of cigarette smoke, drinking alcohol, particularly drugs that may have an effect on our glutathione levels, being in the sun too much, making sure we wear our hats and our sunscreen to kind of protect our skin. So there are some things that we can do, but aging is one of those that, we just can't help. We're going to age. As I mentioned, so we're going to age as gracefully as possible. So things we can try to avoid are managing our stress, our environment by wearing the hat and the sunscreen, or staying out of the sun for too long of periods of time, and then diet and lifestyle. So incorporating healthy exercise and maintaining a healthy balance of what foods you do eat throughout the day. But low glutathione levels are associated with that increased oxidative stress. It is related to reduction in detoxification capacity, which we'll talk about that. And there is an impairment in critical cellular function. So overall, aging we can't help, but some other areas of our life we can. So I mentioned the diet. We can provide our bodies with different foods that are glutathione rich. Here are just a couple examples of those. And you can try your best to eat them on a daily basis, but we're not always consistent, and that's okay. And to be honest with you, when you think about the recommended servings of fruits and vegetables that need to happen through every day, when you look at this list here, you ask yourself, what am I eating? And it's really supposed to be 5 to 12 servings a day. And I am nowhere near that, unfortunately. Some days are better than others. But when you look at this, you realize that maybe I'm not getting as much glutathione in my diet through the foods that I'm eating as much as I should. So when we look back at the Haynes data, we saw that as little as 25 to 50 milligrams of glutathione can actually help close that gap in between our dietary intake. And even though I don't eat that much, I wanted to see if it really is true for others. And of course, research did indicate that approximately 50% of the population is deficient in glutathione. So I'm not the only one that's not eating as much fruits and vegetables on a daily basis as I should be. But now with this Haynes data, we can help kind of eliminate that gap by adding some supplementation with glutathione. So it is called a master antioxidant, and that's because glutathione increases other antioxidants' power. So vitamin C, vitamin E, we all know those are amazing individual ingredients that are found in lots of foods. But together, the combination of the three can help maintain a healthy immune function, detoxifying our bodies, promoting better skin health, and it can actually be used in sports as well. So some of the supporting science, we could talk for hours, but we're going to keep it a little high level for today. We have observed in research that daily supplementation with glutathione can increase the body stores of glutathione, therefore having better bioavailability of it when we need it. Studies have also shown that there's beneficial aspects with skin health, including improved skin conditions and wrinkle reduction. And then when Setria is combined with a vasodilator, it's called Setria Performance Blend, the studies have shown increased and long-lasting nitric oxide production, which I think every athlete wants to help improve their performance and recovery. And there are some effects in maintaining and improving lean muscle mass. And then finally, the immune health system, there's some benefits that have been shown to increase natural killer cells and lymphocytes, which are a type of white blood cell, and they play a major role in maintaining a healthy immune system. So those were the studies, and then this is a little more in-depth into each of those, but here's an example of that bioavailability study where Setria was found over a 6-month period to have a 17% increase in whole blood and a 29% increase in red blood cells. And this is at a 250 milligram dose. This is important because there's previous literature that shows that glutathione doesn't absorb well in the bloodstream. So our glutathione is made from a fermented process that makes it more pure. And I think that's why we're able to see these better stores in the blood versus previous research done with maybe a generic glutathione that may not be as high quality of an ingredient. And then this is our immune function study. After 3 months of glutathione, we were able to see that increase in natural killer cell production and the lymphocyte proliferation. And this is important because that just is the first line of defense when we're talking about improving our immune system, and glutathione over time can do that versus placebo performs much better. And then some of those skin health benefits, when you're talking about melanin in particular, melanin inhibition can lead to whitening of the skin, that dark spot remover, and it supports a decrease in pimples and pimple marks. And we know that glutathione has a very similar effect as well because we've seen it in studies, and I'll actually show you on the next slide that study. And another important role that we mentioned was that antioxidant capability. And so we've been able to see through studies that it has an anti-aging, anti-wrinkle formation by helping the skin become more smooth, more radiant. And then, of course, those antioxidants are always very well researched to show that it has a wound healing effect as well. And this is that study I was mentioning. It uses a VisiaScan. Again, it's at 250 milligram dose of glutathione, and it contributes to a wrinkle reduction. This was in middle-aged females over the age of 40. And it helped to show that the arm that's exposed to the sun, so I like to think of if you're driving in a car, one of your arms is closer to the window. So that's the one that is getting more sun exposure than, say, the sun-protected arm. And that's how this study was laid out. And we were able to see that versus the placebo group, people taking glutathione had a significant reduction in wrinkles in that arm that's exposed to the sun. And then that Setria Performance Blend, this is a combination of Setria Glutationa at 200 milligrams and citrulline at 2 grams. Now, I understand citrulline may not be allowed in Brazil, so please keep in mind that citrulline is a precursor to arginine. So you can theoretically use arginine in place of citrulline because they have similar behaving effects. They're both vasodilators. Nitric oxide is what is produced here, and it is very important to athletes and anyone in the sports and active nutrition space because it's going to increase the blood flow and widening of the blood vessels, which means you're going to get better oxygen and nutrients to those working muscles, and that will result in better performance. It'll also result in better muscle recovery over time. So we were able to see that when you compared the blend of citrulline to Setria to citrulline alone, it had a much longer lasting effect post-exercise. And again, this is very important for athletes. And then detoxification. This is a normal process that occurs within the body on a daily basis. Our liver is really good at removing unwanted waste from our body. But in order for this process to take place, you can see that there's 2 phases. In order for our liver to remove everything, you need particular nutrients. And if you notice in phase 1 and in phase 2, glutathione is listed. So that tells me that it is essential for maintaining healthy, normal liver function in order to remove anything from the body. And urine and bile and stool. But when you think about alcohol, I love wine. So it's Friday. I'm very excited about having a glass of wine at the end of the day. But what's very interesting about the way that we metabolize alcohol in the liver, and knowing that glutathione can help speed up that process, so to speak. You can almost predict that you're going to have less hangover effects because you're able to remove the toxic effect of alcohol from your liver quicker than if you didn't have it. So taking your glutathione before bed after a couple glasses of wine may help you not experience those nasty hangover effects the next day. And then I know this was a very important topic to cover, and this is a question that I commonly get asked is, what's the difference between glutathione versus NAC, so the N-acetylcysteine, and which one is better? I will say that both NAC and glutathione are both pretty powerful antioxidants in their own unique way and their own unique benefits, but NAC works by increasing glutathione levels within the body, and glutathione is shown to detoxify and help the immune system support, where NAC does a little bit more different aspects, where it may function more on lung health, and it does antioxidant properties, not the master antioxidant. So I would like to say that if you're trying to choose between glutathione or NAC, it really comes down to what's your end goal? What's your effect that you are trying to achieve? And if it is antioxidant protection or liver detoxification, glutathione is going to be your best bet. Also, as a dietitian, I like to look at things that are important for your overall health, and that is things like side effects. Typically, glutathione has no major or common side effects are ever reported, but if you look at NAC, you commonly see complaints of people having nausea, vomiting, upset stomach, fatigue, fever, skin rash, and there's actually a lot more that are affiliated with NAC. So overall, I think what's most important is choosing what's best for you and what's safe for you. So of course I would choose glutathione, but that may just be me. And then our structure function claims. We have a bunch. I only chose a couple for purposes of today's presentation, but it is vital antioxidant that boosts the body's natural defense system. It does help our body fight oxidative stress. It helps promote that healthy aging. Again, kind of the topic is aging gracefully, supports our immune health, and then supports liver health by eliminating those harmful toxins that are in our body. It also increases our body's glutathione levels, so we have that first line of defense ready to go when we need it. It supports healthy skin, and then also supports respiratory health. These are all the references I have, and I do have more. If anyone's interested in reading the published literature and the studies that I've mentioned today, we're happy to send you this document. And now I'm going to switch it over to our marketing department. Maria.
Thank you very much, Katie. Nice to meet you all. Maria Stanieich, Senior Marketing Manager, and I will go through some of the marketing support and marketing data for Setria Glutationa as a branded ingredient. On the next slide, you can see here, this is actually based on 700 individuals in the US market, but we do feel it is important globally as well. For the glutathione interest, we were able to see that 76% of US antioxidant users were millennials. Under this information, we are catering our marketing tools and marketing support tools to understand the audience a little bit better. As Katie mentioned, there's several factors that are appealing to wide demographics, from healthy aging, detoxification, things of that nature. So when you know who is interested in what and what the consumer is looking to understand, that will better help frame some of our marketing support materials. Next slide. So again, knowledge and awareness of the ingredient is very important, with 57% of users saying they have heard of glutathione and 24% saying they are very familiar or extremely familiar with it. When asked why would you take glutathione, they responded with immunity, healthy aging, skin health as major reasons for all benefits associated with this glutathione. So again, we like to understand these topics and what is leading the consumer behavior. On the next slide, you can see while learning that the awareness of glutathione is certainly there, we also wanted to know if branded ingredients were important to the consumer. So we do understand that there is a steady increase of customers and consumers who understand the value of a branded ingredient, meaning they understand that this offers trust, quality, and science. So it is something that the consumer feels comfortable purchasing and is confident in their purchasing supplements and finished products. And on the next slide, you can see some of the marketing support, as I mentioned. This is available to all finished products when launching with the branded ingredient Setria. We have inclusion of our logos, our brand use guidelines. We have already built out a lot of social media posts and content to educate not only your team, but the finished product consumer, working on things like custom press releases, infographics, special inclusion in events and marketing. Again, this is to target that end use consumer and to really guide them through the education of Setria. Listing on our website. We've already created many tools like videos and multimedia for websites or anything that may be launching. And this is all available under the marketing toolkit for finished products. On the next slide, you can see here where a lot of consumers are consuming information. Of course, our Setria website, our Where to Find page, and various social media tools from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and videos. With a lot of hashtags. Again, this is where the content would live under. And on the next slide, you can see, again, some of the items that we break down on our Where to Find page. If a product exists, we are happy to list it here so that consumers can find the right product fit for them. And we see high traffic here from consumers looking for the right product to fit their needs. And finally, as an extension of your team, we work to participate for your marketing support by offering all of these items that I mentioned, including custom items like display ads, targeted e-blasts, infographics, and working together to really launch the success of a product with Setria. And we can wrap up here with any questions.
Thank you. Wow, that's fantastic. Katie and Maria, thank you so much. It was amazing, and we are looking forward to develop the sector here in Brazil. I also wanted to thank Alejandro. Graças, Alejandro. Here in Brazil, the Alejandro is our partner. And thank you, Vanessa. Sorry, my camera is closed. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Vanessa. It's a big opportunity to develop in Brazil. And I don't know, it's other opportunity for food and the beverage.
Ok, pessoal, estou à disposição, eu e minha equipe, para apresentar o produto para vocês presencialmente, levar ideias, a gente pode agendar o Innovation Day. E contem conosco aqui no Brasil para inovar com esse produto. Existe um grande mercado para ser desenvolvido no Brasil e no Latam, tá? Estamos à disposição, né, Régis?
Exatamente, exatamente. Estamos aqui para atendê-los. Bem, não sei se o Alejandro gostaria de falar alguma coisa.
Pues solo agradecer, muito obrigado por permitirnos presentar esta información para amigos brasileiros y quedamos a sus órdenes, a su disposición por si hubiera alguna otra necesidad de información. Muito obrigado, Régis, muito obrigado, Vogler Team, por esta oportunidade.
Obrigada.
Agora nós vamos deixar um QR Code ao final da palestra para que vocês queiram mandar perguntas para o nosso time atendê-los um a um, de forma personalizada. A nossa ideia é introduzir realmente esse novo produto aqui no Brasil. Nós acreditamos que tem um mercado, grandes oportunidades, ele linka muito com o estilo de vida do brasileiro. Quero aproveitar também para convidá-los a nos seguir nas redes sociais. Basta procurar por Vogler Ingredients, por Azelis, nos seguir também no LinkedIn. Muito obrigado a todos. Mais uma vez, Katie and Maria, thank you so much. Alejandro, Thank you. Obrigado, Vanessa. E até mais, pessoal.
Obrigada, pessoal.
Tchau, tchau. Thank you very much. Gracias. Muito obrigado.